Welcome to the Opinionated Geek podcast. I am your host, Jonathan Hanna. Uh, I first, before we even start, I wanted to apologize for the YouTube and audio listeners to the podcast. Sadly, I uploaded it on a Sunday. Time got away from me, and I lost track of time. And yeah, it just wasn't really working out. But hopefully, this week will be a little bit better. So, I guess we'll get back to start doing what I've been playing, or in another sense, what I've been prepping. So, we'll move on to my D&D update. Now, last week, it was the non-week that I played D&D, so we didn't do any D&D yet. This Saturday, we will be playing D&D. And I gotta say, I picked the worst adventure for a beginner DM. It's really tough. Like I've been looking through the Tomb of Annihilation companion that basically gives you 30 days of stuff to do, and it's all laid out perfectly, so you can just follow the thing, and you get for 30 days of stuff, so you don't even have to think about it. It's all about reading it and doing it, and so on and so forth. The second session, although the second session did have a lot of cool stuff happening, ironically, but now that I'm like reading it, I'm very unhappy with what I've been seeing. It's a lot of the stuff is pretty basic, pretty boring, little tiny stuff, and I want to really make the little random encounters something like special for the players. That and the stuff that they have been giving me has been very low level. I've been bumping the stuff up to make it a little bit more challenging so they can get more experience. But some of the days where I'm like, you basically find some food and then basically nothing happens, or like little stupid stuff happens, I can't get into it. And then of course there's stuff like well, like right now they've basically had to deal with zombies, terror folk, and some goblins. But for the most part, that's basically it. Now, the Firefinger, they've had to deal with a couple new unique things like spiders and stuff, but of course, that's the dungeon. But, once I get back on the trail again and they start doing the hex crawl again, it goes back to, little tiny stupid stuff uh, there's going to be a situation where there's a triceratops, and doing that sets it up for another encounter, which there's another triceratops. It's just too much of the same stuff right in a row, and I'm not really a big fan of that. It's repetitive and boring to me. So I'm trying to find ways to make it a little bit more interesting. Now, the person who did that also has another thing called Encounters in the Jungle, I think it's called, or something like that. And now that's naturally meant for Tomb of Annihilation, and it gives you a whole bunch of individual encounters that could be useful for random encounters in the dungeon or in the jungle. So I need to look into that a little bit more, but I went out on a limb, and one thing I didn't like about the guy's stuff is it's great and all, but he has no fancy grounds options. So anytime I see something in any of his content, I have to manually put it into fancy grounds to make it easier for me, so that way I'm not having to look over to the side. I can just stay focused on my DM screen, aka laptop, and go from there. And of course, when I'm giving out treasure and stuff, I can just pop it on this chat, and they can actually see what it is and all that stuff. So that's another pain in the butt thing. So there was another person that actually, uh, I forget what they called it. I bought it last night. It was but they had the PDF version and the Fantasy Grounds version. Sadly, I wish they would do a combination. If you buy the Fantasy Grounds version, I wish they would give you the PDF. I paid more for the Fantasy Grounds version. I understand that it actually adds a little bit more work that goes into it because you need to transfer everything over to Fantasy Grounds. So that does take a lot of work. But it'd be nice, I bought the product. Just give me the PDF as well so I can actually look through it because I don't think I don't think anybody would sit there like I bought Tomb of Annihilation on Fantasy Grounds. I don't think anybody in their right mind would sit there and read the whole adventure inside Fantasy Grounds. I could be wrong, but I don't think people would. Most likely they would get, the actual book and read it that way. Well, these are third party uh independent people that are making these little added extra adventures and encounters. So most of them aren't in book forms, so they're in PDF form. So to me, it would be a really really nice thing if they would just you know as independent people, because that's what I would do if I was an independent. Because my whole idea is I'm trying to get you to use my product. I would transfer it right over to the Fantasy Grounds version to actually have a downloadable PDF as well. But the cool thing was about this thing is, not only was it a Fantasy Grounds version that you can purchase, but they also did a thing that the other person didn't do. The other person, it was all one person. He created everything himself, which is, cool and nice and kind of impressive. But I imagine I'll be doing that in the future once I get used to making my own encounters and fleshing out those encounters. But uh, this one was done by a collaboration of people. So you have a different variety of different writing, different styles, and just different ideas and concepts. So you got your really more involved encounters, or you got your simple just you run into somebody that you're able to then role play. You got investigation. The one I'm actually really interested in. There's an encounter where there's this gnome that somehow got involved relationship wise with a bunch of cannibalistic goblins, and he has started a family with them. And the adventurers find a cart. I believe that's what it is, and of course it has all these signs that the people were taken from the cart. But essentially, it's this family, and you're going to they're going to eat them if you don't stop it, type of thing. But the cool thing is like if the characters try to play along with the other characters, uh, the gnome will come out of his little hut type of thing and just like, hey, how's it going? And he'll actually eventually uh, invite them in to actually have something to eat, which is essentially human uh, food. So human food, by that I mean human meat. So I think that's going to be a really cool encounter, and that's probably definitely what I'm going to do. Problem is, right now I don't know which way they're going to go because they're at the Firefinger, and they'll definitely finish that up. If they go the way that I am going to push them towards, not really push them, but give them the hook to go to the next location, then I think I could probably pull it off within that session. If not, there's a dungeon not too far down south that they'll most likely run into, which that's probably going to be the next kind of big thing, which I need to read up on that one just in case. I have a feeling that they're going to just go the way that I'm, given the hook to do, but it's my group, and I kind of know them from playing with them for so long that they're going to do something not of that nature. But anyway, so far though, this is being very taxing. Actually, it's been really taxing because to be honest with you, I've been trying to figure out what I'm going to do, what I'm going to lay down because I haven't been satisfied with what I've been reading, and I don't like the just rolling random encounters because that seems boring and stupid. It just seems, repetitive. That's like I even need to come up with a better treasure because the the table that they have for random treasure in the Tomb of Annihilation thing, it's not enough treasure. Let's put it that way. Now, obviously, in the dungeons, you'll actually get unique and cool treasure, but I still would like to have interesting treasure out in the jungle type of thing. So, and it's lacking in that aspect too. But this is all a good learning experience because hex crawls, I think for the most part, are kind of not as popular. So this is a cool, a fun step for me to learn how to do something like this because it might not come around that often in D&D. But I'll probably be happy when we start getting into Omu and getting into the meat of the game or the adventure. Now, the only problem I'm having, and it could be, it's definitely me. And sadly, I wasn't even thinking about this, but my the new player is the daughter of one of the guys, and she, I think, is quitting the other group that she was in because the DM just basically was just trying to kill everybody. That's how he played. Here's the bad part that I need to come to terms with. Like, I just need to come to terms with it. It's just that's the way it has to be. Uh, Tomb of Annihilation is kind of a play on the Tomb of Horrors, and the connotation of the Tomb of Horrors is death. You will die, type of thing. And I'm reading a lot of these little things in the adventure and even some of the sides, the third party side stuff. And I need to go into like some of the Reddits if Reddit's up again. Reddit was down yesterday. Uh, and also one of my Facebook groups for Tomb of Annihilation. And I gotta ask what if there's any DMs out there that are actually trying to make their character survive. Because that's what I'm trying to do. It's probably going to bite me in the butt later because if I'm constantly trying to save my characters or lower the encounter and whatnot, because there's a lot of these things where even just like some of the plants that you like can get in some of the like the little encounters or and adventures, it basically would knock uh some of my players unconscious right off the bat. Uh, I've already fudged some falls with Firefinger. Firefinger's like 300-foot tall tower, and basically they're on the second. And there's only four floors technically to this tower, and they're already on the second floor. So guess what I've done already? I've completely fudged damage because naturally any character that would fall would die because they're only second level. So there's a lot of this types of stuff, and that's like once they go up to the third level. The third level, in order to actually get up to the third level, you actually have to go outside and go around the edge. Now, obviously, you got to do a check there to see if they don't fall off. Then there's a wind check. So You even gotta do a roll a check to see if the wind doesn't blow them off. There's lots and lots of stuff that just kill the characters, and I kind of want to go with the adventure, but I also want to make sure that the characters are having fun, and especially after the guy's daughter uh just said that she's probably going to quit and come to my group because of the fact that the DM is just trying to kill him. So it's one of those things where I'm probably too nice because I see a lot of the players on the Tomb of Annihilation groups and stuff. They're actually like they'll do something cool like congratulations you beat the adventure type of thing, but then they'll also be like proud about how many characters they've killed and all that stuff. So it's one of those things where I don't know how I feel about it right now. So we will have to wait and see how everybody I probably need to discuss it with my players, but we shall see. And I'll update everybody on that. But overall, I'm enjoying the fun of it, but man, the worst adventure I could have chosen. I should have chosen something easier. It's just too bad the was it I think it's called Waterdeep Heist. That's coming out in September. That's the one that once they announced that, I was like, dang it, that's the one I want. So bad. It only gets the characters from level 1 to 5, but it's a heist and it's in a town. That's so cool. I like the idea of heists or mysteries or something like that. The just killing type adventures, it gets a little old. I like the stuff that makes it unique. And this does have some unique stuff, but it is clearly one of those kind of inspirational old school type adventures too, all at the same time. But anyway, let's get on to the next thing that I've actually been playing. Well, I haven't been playing a whole lot. I've only played around 3 hours, but let's give you a little rundown. So, I tried Destiny 2. I didn't like it, just like I didn't like the first Destiny. Uh, when Twitch Prime, and we'll get to Twitch Prime later, when they announced that you got some free loot, I was like, okay, cool. I I just accept everything. I'm just like, I'll take that. I'll take that. And for whatever reason, I was like, well, I did accept this loot, so and it's a free game, so let's check it out. So about maybe less than a week ago, I surprisingly I when I installed it, the first runtime I did like 63 minutes, which is kind of impressive for me when it comes to a game that I'm not necessarily a huge fan of, but it kind of the time just kind of flew by. But it's very much like Destiny, though done better than Destiny, I feel like. Uh, the controls were definitely stupid and weird, and I had to change them a little bit. But overall, it's I feel like it might have potential there for me. Now, last night I wasn't planning on. I actually really wasn't planning on playing it, but my friend on Facebook said that she was going to go mining for something in the game, and because I still don't know the lingo and all that stuff in the game, but I was like, you know what? I started an account, which for whatever reason I use Darkmare for everything. Now I've seen some people using Darkmare, but it's so rare, so rare. But with Warframe, somebody used Darkmare. At least that's what I'm assuming. Because my thing is, I use my email address, which is just darkmare@gmail.com. I know some things when you sign up, they're like, you can't use the same thing that's in your email. I've it's rare, but I have come across websites that do that. So I'm not sure if that was the situation, but it wouldn't let me register it as Darkmare. So I had to do it as my Darkmare and when I was born, 83. So that's kind of annoying. So annoying. I hate putting numbers or dashes or anything like that. I've always enjoyed the fact that I could always use Darkmare for everything. And that annoys me a little bit. Anyway, so my friend said she needed to do that. So I was like, I'll hop on and add her as a friend just for later. So once I did the update, I was attempting to add her as a friend, but due to the fact I don't know how the game operates or works and stuff, I accidentally added her to my squad and she accepted, and then I felt kind of like pushed in that direction to I was going to play. But we did 2 hours, and the kind of the cool thing was is I've had Discord, but when it comes to a lot of, I guess not a lot of people, I'm sure a lot of people actually do the whole chatting and stuff. But I, it's one of those things where a lot of my friends are console people, they're not PC people. So I have very little, I would say, real friends on Steam. I do have quite a bit of friends on Steam, but only like two or three. And of course, it's one of those things where you want to play this game, but they don't want to play this game, and that's the thing that have the issue with when it comes to playing games with people online. Half the time, I have to be in a very, very special mood to play a multiplayer game with somebody. For the most part, I'm a single player guy. So when they're constantly on a daily basis bugging me to play, to play, to play, to play, I'm just like, I don't even want to have you as a friend type of thing. It's like, why don't you play? And then I'll ask you, hey, you know, would you be up for some multiplayer? But this the constant from the same person, because my thing is I would actually send them a message. But the other people will actually send you a join request. So then I feel like I'm trying to be pushed into playing, and that annoys me a lot more for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. I guess because I have to deny it, and it seems more concrete. I don't know. I'm stupid. I think way too much. Overthink is my number one issue with myself. But that's just me. But anyway, it was nice because I actually got to join in her Discord group and actually do a little bit of chatting while we're playing, and it was nice because unlike like Overwatch, you're not stuck with in a lobby with a whole bunch of 8 and 12-year-olds, acting like they're the actual commander and they're telling you what to do and what not to do, and it's just annoying. And then they just spout off random stuff, and I hate the fact that I would have to actually I hate having to mute stuff, do extra stuff. It's like it's just annoying. So it was nice to be able to actually chit chat with people in a normal adult situation. And I actually got to use Discord for what it was used for. Right now, I use it as a kind of like almost like a Reddit in a way, because I actually have a Tomb of Annihilation uh, like groups. I got Fantasy Grounds groups. I got all these types of groups that you can ask questions and discuss stuff, but not for what Discord was kind of designed for, which was gaming. So it was nice to actually use Discord for what it's kind of supposed to be used for. All right, but yeah, check out Warframe. It's free. It's definitely not for everybody, but it's one of those things where if you don't want to think and you just want to chill out and literally space the heck out, Warframe, you can do that. There's no real thought process to it unless you did what I did last night, where I was in a group with a whole bunch of people that actually were way higher level than me. So I was just tagging along, trying not to die. But yeah, so check it out. It's been around for a while. I know some people probably have already played it, but if you haven't, check it out. Why not? You might like it. All right. So, on to news. Life is Strange 2 trailer came out, as well as uh, a 20-minute in-game play session. So now that it's kind of officially announced and what we kind of know about it, uh, I'm definitely a little bit more excited about it. It's going to be interesting to figure out whether it's actually going to pull the heartstrings like the original Life is Strange did to me. I think it can easily do that. Uh, Especially since I actually do have a brother. So, and even though how I feel about my brother isn't like a tight knit closeness, uh, I can still relate. But the way they kind of let it out to be is essentially in the little 20-minute gameplay thing. It actually fills out the beginning of the game. I'm assuming that's going to be in the game, but how it plays out is you're this teenage kid and you're going to be going to a party apparently that night, and you got a little brother naturally, and the little brother made some fake zombie blood, so he decided he's going to show his brother. He's like, get out of my room type of thing. So he goes out, starts playing outside, pretends to be a zombie. Apparently gets involved with being a zombie with his imagination and stuff. He accidentally gets fake blood on one of the neighbor kids. So naturally, uh, his brother has to go out and calm the situation down and all that stuff. And of course, the mother apparently is dead. So the neighbor kid, as the brothers were walking away, made a comment about the mother, and of course starts a fight. Something happens when the neighbor kid falls down that makes him have issues. I'm not sure what the heck it is, whether it's a asthma attack or a anxiety attack or some sort of an attack. Uh, but because he also has the fake blood on him, obviously, conveniently enough, there's a cop close by, and he's just rolling by and sees what is assumed what a kid beating up on another kid, and he's all bloody and stuff. So naturally, he gets out his gun and all that stuff. Uh, your father comes out, shoots you, he shoots the dad type of thing, and due to that, the teenager boy has this big explosion. It doesn't make it very clear of the the overall effect and what it's actually doing, but they show like the aftermath of it, and then of course with the trailer they kind of tell you what the story is going to be about. It's since you don't have any parents and whatnot, uh, but I believe I could be wrong, but I believe you do have some parents down in Mexico because you're playing a Mexican kid. Uh, they're going to be traveling down from Seattle all the way down to uh, Mexico. So that's the idea of the game, and it looks like it could be cool. That definitely could actually have a lot of situations that could make it really really cool. But we'll have to wait and see if it's going to be as good or uh, worse or even possibly better than the Chloe and Max Life is Strange. I think people are being a little bit hard on it right now just because I think they're so attached to Chloe and Max. Uh, and I get it. There's something about especially Chloe because back in the day I was more the not the I definitely wasn't rebellious, but I have the darker tendencies, the darker humor, the that's I can relate to Chloe a lot more than I can relate to Max. So I definitely get that. But we'll have to wait and see. I definitely will need to get it pre-ordered because There's another game that just came out that I don't have that's kind of annoying, and I've never got to play it, so I wanted to play it. But that is not happening right now. But anyway, it looks like it could be interesting. So it's definitely a lot better than the Captain Spirit. Now, but on to the idea of Captain Spirit, I'll have to go back and play it or go back and watch the ending of somebody else's on YouTube. That's probably what I'll do because why waste like a half an hour of your day just to see a little quick second. Now, my theory is, and I could be completely wrong because again, I need to go back and watch it. At the end of Captain Spirit, when you as the child are falling off the falling out of the tree. I can't remember if you're falling out of the tree or you're falling off the tree. I want to say you were climbing up and you fell, like one of the ladder rungs came off the tree and then you fell. But as you're falling, they do the where you now all of a sudden you have magic abilities. So you're flying, or not really flying, but you're being suspended, and then you slowly get to the ground, type of thing. If I remember correctly, I could be completely wrong, but you definitely are flying or floating or one of those things. Once you actually get up and look at your surroundings, you notice the neighbor boys, and it's two of them if I remember correctly. They were definitely darker skinned, if I remember correctly. And you just kind of wave, and they kind of wave at you. So it's almost like if it was you having those special powers, they would have noticed and probably be freaked the heck out. But they didn't freak out. They were very cool and collected and like, this is a normal everyday thing. So my thought process is the neighbors are the kids that you're going to be playing with in Life is Strange 2. It has nothing to do with that little boy in Captain Spirit. It has to do with those neighbors. I could be wrong, but I'll have to go back and check, and I'll probably actually confirm it next week if I think that is what it is. But right now, I just don't know because I haven't gone back and checked it out. All right, there we go. Had to think about it in my mind. So the what is the name of this thing? I don't know. I can't read it, but basically the guys who did Until Dawn, they have now announced their new, I guess, set of games, because it says anthology, but they're going to be calling it the Dark Pictures Anthology. So they're bringing out their new the new game that they are now announcing for that anthology is Man of Medan. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. Again, looks cool. Looks like it's going to have the same functionality, if I had to guess, as Until Dawn. So it's going to have like that telltale story adventure where you're doing quick time events, but done way better because everybody does what Telltale did and kind of like made into a thing. Everybody does it way better. Whether it's story in general, which is kind of sad. You shouldn't be able to actually do the story better because you basically you that's what you do. You're actually called Telltale. You're telling tales, and you should be able to do it on par with everybody else. But some of them are good. Like I really liked Wolf Among Us, but anyway, so far, Life is Strange and Until Dawn were, to me, definitely above Telltale games as far as quality and story and whatnot. Although, again, Wolf Among Us is great. But anyway, they've announced Man of Medan, for their first game in this anthology. And from the trailer that, because I was actually watching it while I was at work, and I don't sit at a desk when I'm working. So I kind of have to, look at it when I can. Uh, from what I got from the trailer, it seems to be a very mummy-esque uh, vibe to it, or even sphere in a way. So basically, it's the idea that you wakened something that shouldn't have been and wakened uh, at all, type of thing, and now the players have to deal with the repercussions and take care of the situation at hand. Uh, which the cool part about this one is, again, because I don't think I've actually mentioned it on the podcast, but I love underwater stuff and the idea of diving and stuff like that. So, uh, obviously, it's awakening something down in the sea. Something, and it's meant to be another horror type game. So, I'm excited for it. I'm curious if it's going to be a PS4. I'm not sure if this company is a PS4 exclusive company. It'd be kind of cool that if they brought it to other consoles, because I don't have a PS4 anymore. At least not right now. Maybe later. Maybe later. It only costs $100 to get it fixed, but that's $100. For me, that's a lot of money. But anyway, looks cool. Moving on. Uh, I mentioned this before that they gave me a little survey for the Kickstarter that I was like, are they bringing it out already? And it just seemed weird because, and that's the way it usually works. You get, you know, the survey right before they're about to send the stuff, maybe like a month out before they're going to send the stuff. So I thought it was kind of weird, unless it's one of those things where they have to figure out distribution and how much, physical copies they need to make. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. So anyway, I filled out the survey, and in the grand scheme of things, it's not coming out anytime soon. I thought, for example, I was like, that'd be kind of cool, It's like, thanks for waiting. Here's Shenmue 1 and 2 for free while you're waiting. But they did not do that. But anyway, Shenmue 3 is coming out August 27th, 2019. So essentially a year from now. Granted, that sucks, kinda. But the nice thing is, A, it's coming out. If they actually got a release date. Uh, and also, today, at the live recording of this podcast, Shenmue's remasters 1 and 2 are now out for PS4, Xbox, and Steam. And I don't think it's for Switch at all. I don't think. It could be for Switch easily because it's old tech. It's an old game. But anyway, yeah. So that's the one game that I wish I had pre-ordered because I would kind of like to play it. I owned a Dreamcast. That was one of the games that it was in a unique time. It was like it was on the cusp of actually getting a Dreamcast, and then I was starting to get out of the gaming situation, and I moved to Montana and all this stuff, and I never got Shenmue, and I got out of video games for a long while. It wasn't until the PS2, like, and this was late in its cycle, uh, the PS2 cycle, that I actually got another console. So it took me a while, and even then, I don't believe I was really getting into games too much. So I never got to play Shenmue 1 or 2, and so I don't know why I jumped on Shenmue 3. I guess it's because I never got to play 1 or 2. That I wanted to at least play one of them, even though I probably don't know what the heck's going on. So the idea that later they announced that Shenmue 1 and 2 was coming out for PC as well, so then I could have all three of them on PC, I was like, that's awesome. So yeah, nothing really important there. And of course, here's the annoying news. Amazon have basically kind of destroyed the Amazon Prime features that if you're a gamer, that for some people, if you're strictly a gamer and you only got Amazon Prime specifically for the gaming stuff, basically they've killed everything. To me, the important stuff, they've killed everything. They've uh they've killed ad free. So the most beautiful thing about the attaching your Amazon Prime and your Twitch account was so you could get ad free, so you could watch anybody ad free. They're getting rid of that completely. I'm hoping they'll get enough backlash that maybe they might back out of it, but I don't know. Personally, I'd rather if they gave up the free games that they give you per month and give me my ad free, because in the end, it they're basically BSing us. They're saying it's better for the creators. It's not. It's more money in their pocket. That's it. Because essentially, what I'm giving you, I'm giving them a free subscription every month. Anyway, so then I'm like, oh, now you want me? I get my free subscription, but now I still need to, if I want to have ad free for another person, then I need to spend another $5. It's like it the whole idea of this type of thing was it was like the YouTube Red for Twitch. But now they're like, well, we still got that, and we've always had it. It's called Twitch Turbo. So now they're making you spend even more money if you want ad free across the board again. So essentially, what this is going to do is it's going to screw them over because I've never had to deal with ads on Twitch because I wasn't thinking. I've always had an ad blocker. So even when I got Twitch Prime, it didn't make a difference to me, but it was nice that I knew that I was putting money back into Twitch and helping the people that I like to watch. And especially when I get the add my free subscription, it felt good to know that the people I'm watching that I've chosen for that 1 month, I've given you money because I enjoy your content. So, uh, or I'm not even I'm not even really giving them money. Amazon's giving them money. I'm at least giving them a thumbs up with my free subscription, saying, "Good job, keep on doing what you're doing." So, but now they're like, "No, you need to do Twitch Turbo if you want the whole ad free across the board." So they're just going to have a whole bunch of people that are going to stick with Amazon Prime and then use the ad block like I've always been doing. So that's kind of disappointing. So the nice thing is if you uh, subscribe to Jesse Cox's account or you subscribe to Felicia Day's account, I believe they're the only two. There might be another person, but they're the only two people that it's a one-time fee. So I think for Felicia Day, it's $5. And once you pay that $5, you don't have to pay it anymore. You have a subscription for life. Same with Jesse Cox. His is $3, I think he said. I actually subscribed to him a long time ago. I forget what it is. I thought it was two, but he said three the other day. Uh, Again, they've been constantly trying to get him to basically for him not to have that anymore. And I'm sure they're doing it to Felicia as well. But they've been standing firm that basically no. In fact, I think even Jesse said, "Okay, I don't mind if you take that off, but the people that are subscribed to me need to be grandfathered in, and they don't have to pay again." And they're, I guess, due to the way that the site's designed, they can't do that or something. So as of right now, that's not moving. So if you watch any of those two, you get free, ad free, no matter what, if you subscribe to that one time fee. So that's cool. Uh, which, to be honest with you, if they wanted to, they could easily say no, uh, because yours is a one time fee. That's our stipulation. You still you still get ads type of thing. But surprisingly, they're not doing that as of right now. What they've also done was they took away the discount for new releases. It was a 20% discount for new release games. Uh, I think I guess I should say select new games. I'm not sure how it worked, but I've done it only a couple times because I had a PS4 and I used it for that. Now that the PS4 it doesn't work right now, I don't I haven't used it for I guess a couple years now, but it was nice, 20% off. Uh, Now I know some people are like, well, I get all my games digitally. That's great. If you're one of those people, awesome. For PC, I don't mind going digital. I go digital all day. Mainly because if this computer breaks down, I can get another computer and it's still the games are still going to work. With a console, if it breaks down, for example, right now, eventually I'll get around to fixing it. But if I don't get around to fixing it and I go to the next system, guess what? All my games aren't going to work that I bought digitally. So that's why I like physical. If I'm going to get something, get a game for a console, I want it physical. Basically, because then I have resale value. I don't have resale value when it's digital. So again, I can collect those games, hold on to them, and if we get lucky, in many years down the road, like Super Nintendo and Nintendo, some of those games are going to be valuable, and it'll be worth my time. Granted, I don't see myself selling it because I've made that mistake one too many times. I'm done selling consoles or games. But yeah, so and that's another thing. Well, what if the servers go down? Like right now, we're in a new age where consoles are going digital. Well, if they're not going to go backwards compatible, at least PlayStation 4 doesn't seem to be interested in that. Uh, we're going to have some issues because then once the servers are dead, like let's say they do like Nintendo is doing, it's like sorry, we're shutting our servers down and you can't, you know, download the games that you actually bought. It's a bunch of bull. So that's the number one reason why I will always go physical. Now I'm not sure how that works nowadays though with the day one patches and all that stuff. I don't think it would matter if you're offline. But again, those older consoles, once they are get so old, they won't even be able to get online because they've shut those servers down for those consoles. So my guess is the day one patches won't matter. So that's why I always go physical until they start all doing backwards compatibility type of stuff. Once they start doing that, by all means, I will be glad to buy digitally. But right now, it looks like Xbox seems to be going that way. But again, they could change stuff completely the next generation. You don't know. Right now, they're trying to basically win back people from their screw up at the beginning. And they're just like, hey, how about this? 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 Once they get the people, like, let's say they do a good job for the next console, once they wrangle in the people, do you think they're going to do another stupid move where they're like, now we're taking this away, now we're taking this away? My guess is they probably will. And that's why Sony's being so dickish about the whole backwards, the cross platform stuff. They don't need to. They got the people that play. They don't need to actually cross play with other consoles because the majority of the people are on PS4. And although I don't agree with that tactic, it is business, and I understand why they don't give a crap. But if Xbox comes out ahead next generation, guess what? PlayStation will probably or Sony will probably be more willing to play ball and do some of the cross-platform, the backwards compatibility. But right now, they're just like, no, we don't need to. It's like we'll make a remaster. You can buy that one instead of buying, making your old game backwards compatible. But anyway, so yeah, Twitch Prime, it's essentially A, you get a free subscription to give to somebody, and B, you get some free games, and you're still going to get free loot, in-game loot. So if those little things are nice to you, uh, then I guess it's worth your time. But if the main thing that I liked, again, was the ad-free, uh, Twitch Prime is really not worth it to me anymore. Now, luckily for them, I like Prime in general, and I like a lot of the stuff they have, and I like the 2-day free shipping and all that stuff. So I will be keeping it no matter what. But I would say for those people that only own Prime for the Twitch features, I think they've just lost some Prime subscribers, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is. And maybe this will hit a backlash and maybe they'll change their mind. But as of right now, I don't think they are. But anyway, that is the rest of the podcast for right now until next week. And I'll try really hard Thursday night to upload the this podcast on audio and YouTube. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.